gonna give in now. I just gotta live this now. I'm gonna be when I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the will. Cause I am just off on the journey. You just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Grand rising. Good evening, warriors all over the world. We're going to start out with a little bit of a story that got us to this point where all these beautiful souls, we got most of our team is going to be jumping on here in a second. But we got to reminisce a little bit, guys. December 20th, 2020, that brought all of us together. I'll never forget this moment. There's Mario. Let's go. I'll never forget this moment. December 20th, 2020. Let me back up just a little bit. Let's talk about the inception of where we're at right now. So first of all, congratulations. If you didn't see the big ass title, breaking news, XRP case is over. But remember, this is just the beginning. We've been teaching you guys the fundamental real world solve. And the most important part now is to stay calm and have a plan. Okay. This is that we got to celebrate. We got to get excited. But tomorrow, boom, back into the fundamentals. Back into the fundamentals. Make sure you have an exit plan as well going into 2025. Okay, so I'll get off my soapbox with that. But I want to share with you guys, I remember, December 20th, 2020, I was quarantined because of the pandemic, right? And that was probably the worst thing you could have done to me because I went in there and I did the Gateway Project. I may have taken, who knows, taken some plant medicines. I don't know. But I was in a hotel for 14 days and I did the Gateway Project and did meditation every single day. And then all of a sudden I was ripped out of my meditation with all these text messages. Back then, everybody had my phone number and it was like, JV, XRP, why this, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Now, I was a year into crypto at that point. My gut said, hold the line in diamond hand. So I did our channel we didn't have a lot of followers back then. I remember I jumped on the channel. I'm like, I'm doing a press release. Like I'm some big news guy. And I jump on there and I'm like, I don't remember what I said. You can find it on the channel, but like I'm holding the line diamond hand. And I said, hold on like a tick on a dog. And we did. And we've been through the ups. We've been through the downs. We've been through the ridicule. Oh, see, you guys lost so much money because you held in an asset that didn't appreciate during the bull run. When I hear people say that, that is a direct indication that they do not understand how wealth is built. Wealth is built by time in the market. That's how it's built. And I thought about it on December 20th, 2020, when the case got initiated against Ripple, and something in my gut said something's up here. And then 3 days later, Jay Clayton leaves to consult for a cryptocurrency firm. Then Jay Clayton all of a sudden ends up on the board of directors for the bank bail-in committee. Gary Gensler leaves a head MIT professor for crypto to become the head of the SEC. In 2012, Gary Gensler was part of the FOMC creation, which is Future Oversight Committee to regulate non-bank financial institutions. So I started to see all this logical circuit kick in. Rosie Rios said to reduce coin cash usage in 2012, but she couldn't because Obama turned the rescue plan on and the printing machine full blast. So now here we are. We went from Bitcoin as a fraud used for money laundering from the asset manager's mouth to admitting in 2023 that he was wrong and it's a flight to quality. From there, he's created a Bitcoin ETF. And now, family, the Bitcoin conference, you have 2 presidential candidates, a bunch of senators in the audience, and one on stage saying that we're bringing it into the treasury. How ironic is that? So congratulations to every single person here. And I want to bring my best friends all onto this live so we can talk about this. So this is all breaking news for all of us. There's a lot of comments going back and forth. What does this mean? So I wanted to bring on the experts to talk about this. But let's first look at the news and we'll go around to introduce. So there's a lot of probably new people on here as well because this stuff is going parabolic. But let me dive into this. Can you guys see the screen here? Can you guys see the Brad Garland? Oh, let's go here. There we go. Got it? Cool. All right, here we go. So this is from Brad Garlinghouse. Let's just take it from the horse's mouth. This came out August 7th, 1:55, about 10 minutes ago. The SEC asked for $2 billion, and the court reduced their demand to negative 94%, recognizing that they have overplayed their hand. We respect the court's decisions and have clarity to continue growing our company. This is a victory for Ripple, the industry, and the rule of law. The SEC's headwinds against the whole of the XRP community are gone. Congratulations to the XRP community. Congratulations to every single person in the community, in the crypto community. And guys, it's time to get rid of the borders. It's time to get away from this tribalism of XRP, Bitcoin. Guys, we're all fighting the same battle, man. We're all in the same boat, rowing the same way, guys. We all made a very sound decision. Think about it. About 5%, I think, Johnny, you said this, about 5% of the population has access to crypto, or not access, but exposure to crypto. You are a generational shifter, family. So congratulations. So let's kick it around the room. So first, I'll start with Johnny Crypto with a K, wishing you a great day. So Johnny, how are you feeling about this? I mean, this is historical, and it's so cool. But the reason why we came on, guys, because you have to celebrate this shit. You got to get excited about this. But I'm going to say this again. Tomorrow, it's back to the disciplined, consistent behaviors, having an exit plan, and getting back to the non-emotional investing. So Johnny Crypto with a K, wishing you a great day. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Coach. It's always great to be around you guys. And to the Warrior Maniacs out there, all in the chat room who are here. Love you guys and appreciate them for showing up every day. And this is so historic because, Coach, never have we had a case, I don't think, in the SEC history that went 4 years. It just made no sense why it took so long. And we've been talking about this very moment for a long time to get the monkey off their back. And finally, we are here. I mean, pending, of course, any appeals. But I would imagine that the SEC, will be happy to take their money and run at this point. Because if you remember, there were rumors early on that Brad was willing to pay $200 million to get out of this case a long time ago. And now he's only going to end up paying $125. So the SEC is losing money here in the long run. But big historic day. For all the XRP holders. Now, here's what I'm going to tell everybody. I'm already getting text messages and tweets saying, why isn't it at $2? Why isn't it coming? God, remember, the world is in a mess right now. The markets are in turmoil. Everything's going down. There is something called timing. And while it's great that they got the ruling, it is bad timing, but it's okay. It's okay. Everybody relax, settle down. It will come later. But now that the monkey's off their back, when the conditions become prime in the market, we're finally, for the first time in 4 years, Coach, going to be able to see how high XRP can go without the monkey on the back. And that's why I am so excited for this role.
Dude, I love it. I think about what Johnny just said, man. I came from the banking sector. I'm a bank executive sitting there that has a liquidity crisis. I'm like, this case just ended. I'm like, I now have regulatory clarity. Brad, what's up, brother? Remember we talked about 2 years ago? Come on in. Let's get this cloud computing system set up. Let's get that liquidity rolling, baby. So I'm telling you guys, you're going to start to see adoption. But again, like Johnny said, and hopefully, and I want to thank the Good Morning Crypto Show for always keeping people calm. Like we're really in the realistic realm of understanding, guys. We're true investors. Like we know it's not going to shoot to $10. If it does, fantastic. Great. Have an exit plan. But if it doesn't, we stay the course, guys. Just stay the course. Because you're going to hear, I already see in the comments, oh, you held all this XRP, but you didn't make any money. I'm like, wait till 3-4 years from now, guys. So important to hold the line. Don't trip diamond hands. So let's head over to Mario. I was going to say the Node Defender. Sorry. What is the new brand name? Sorry. I don't want to mess up the game here.
Just Mario, just my name, but my handle is Link with Mario. Thanks,
Link
Coach.
With Mario. That's right. That's right, man. So how you doing, brother?
Doing great, doing amazing. I actually, it's funny. I got an alert from Merlin. I was looking at my emails and I saw an email from Merlin with XRP being up like 15%. And I'm like, oh man, don't tell me we got a bug. I was like, oh, but then I went to look and I'm like, wait, this is real. Like what XRP is actually up 15% in the last 24 hours. This is crazy. But
yes, Mario, Merlin actually works. I just want to
work. I mean, I was just thinking about all the customer support stuff that could be coming our way. But honestly, guys, if you want to reach out to customer support about XRP, we'll tell you that it's true. And Coach, you were talking and I remember those videos from the hotel room that you did. And I remember I had just joined the academy. I was so new to the academy at that time. And when the lawsuit dropped against Ripple, I remember your videos being a strong influence into me backing up the truck, like Coach JV likes to, Johnny K likes to say, backing up the truck and just basically going all in because I believed that this was going to be a moment that was going to be in the history for crypto. And Ripple has been fighting for the industry. And I actually responded to Brad Garlinghouse's tweet or post on X to say that, thank you for representing and for fighting for the crypto space, because I know that they were fighting for themselves and they were fighting for XRP. But ultimately, this is going to be a great thing that's going to come out for the entire crypto space. So I'm really grateful that, I stood with my belief that this was the right decision, was to hold on. And yes, it's true, XRP has not been the best performing asset in the crypto space, but like Johnny K just said, now the monkey it's completely off its back, and I am really excited. This day is very exciting, but I am really excited to see what comes out now, right? Because now I believe we're going to get the news that we've been waiting for. US partners, the clarity is here. So I really believe that that Ripple and XRP are going to continue to change the industry like they've been doing. And honestly, that's where things really get exciting from an investment perspective. And just congratulations to everyone that held on and, celebrate this moment, because like you said, these moments need to be celebrated.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, too, before I kick it over to Jose and then over to one of the greatest hosts in human history, Abs, I do want to say thank you to all of you guys, too, for believing in what we did, right? So it's like, guys, how this inception came is like, I was heading off to Peru and I was a little worried about the channel not continuing on. And this group got together and said, hey, we'll do some videos. And it became this beautiful, it just was so esoteric, man. It was this beautiful amoeba of people coming together. And I promise you guys, this will be the #1 channel in the world. I will say this. It will be the #1 channel in the world, the #1 crypto and financial channel in the world. I'll continue to say that because it's coming from here. And that's what I feel from all of you guys. So I just want to say thank you to all of you guys, too, because, it takes someone crazy enough like us to have an idea, but it takes a village to build these types of things. So thank you guys very much. So I'll head over to Jose, the CEO of 3T Espanol. So how are you feeling, man? How's it going on the Espanol side over there?
I am amazing, Coach. I want to just say thank you for the invite. Thanks for having me on. And man, it's such an exciting day, but I also feel like we need to ground ourselves too, right? Because this is something that we already knew that this was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. And now that it's here, it's like how Coach always says, in the beginning is the end and in the end is the beginning. Right now, this is the beginning of something else. And we don't, and now that, and just like Johnny said, now that we don't have the monkey on Ripple's back, now we have space to innovate and to really do something great. Now, for me, it's also not a coincidence that all this stuff is happening, right? When you look, the coach talks about taking a 30,000-foot overview and looking things from a macro level and looking things from the outside and just observing, right? I like to do those things too, and I like to connect the dots. It's not a coincidence we're having the Olympics around this time. It's not a coincidence that the Olympic ceremony was held in a river. It's not there's not a coincidence that all these other things that are happening outside of America are happening on purpose around this time, right? It's all astrological. It's all a date alignment. You guys can do numerology, gematria. If you guys are into that, you guys can look it up. It all connects to this, right? We're in that transition, and that transition is here. And I'm very, very happy to be part of this and to be part of this community. And also, I want to plug in all the Hispanics and Latinos in the Warrior Academy and here in the chat. Saludos a ustedes. Si ustedes no han seguido todavía el canal de 3T Español, make sure you guys head over there and get your Spanish content too. We have Hablando Crypto with Mario, who's on there with us, with me every Tuesday, and with Gonzo, who does the TA every Tuesday. So make sure you guys come on into the community, 3T Español, para todos ustedes que son de habla hispana, que quieren este contenido también en español, lo tenemos para ustedes. Vayan para 3T Español y ahí lo vamos a ayudar a todos ustedes. So, un saludo. Muchas gracias por tenerme. Thank you so much for having me, Coach. I'm very, very grateful to be part of this community.
Yes, I love you so much, brother. I'm going to kick it over to Abs, one of the greatest hosts in human history. But before that, we saw our CFO pop on, and he had a calculator in his hand calculating how wealthy we are going to be with how many XRP we hold. So Abs, the greatest, love you, brother, the greatest host in human history. Thank you so much for your dedication to the channel. Thank you so much for your dedication to the research and bringing it and getting better every single day. I say that all the time, one of the greatest hosts in human history, and I mean that. So the floor is yours, brother.
Thank you, guys. And that's a representation of the greatest team in crypto history. And today, it's our victory lap, guys. We got Linda P. Jones in the live chat. I want to give a shout out to Linda P. Jones as well. But think about it. The SEC originally asked for $2 billion. $2 billion for the fine. They got less than 6% of that. So if that's not a win, I don't know what you're waiting for. I think we're going to see huge things for the next 2 quarters of this year, whether it's stablecoin regulation, markets just pumping in general, or the fact that Ripple's going to be launching the only regulated stablecoin. That is a fact, guys. So I'm really, really excited for the remainder of this year. And the timing, I know a lot of people are focused on the day-to-day price action because that's what's exciting. Everybody saw the green candles, got their notifications. I'm really excited about the next 6 months. I think the next 6 months, watching these assets, both Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, I think everything's going to be performing extremely well. So another win for us, another win for the community, and shout out to Jeremy as well. Shout out to Jeremy for being here. I love you too.
Yeah,
I wanted to say something. I wanted to say something really quick. Someone in the chat that made an amazing comment. Anthony, I think is Wanner. He said, "So bullish. 3T is talking in tongues today." That's because 3T Español is up in here.
I love it. Yes. Big shout out. Johnny Crypto's glitching there with the monkey on his back. What is going on? Johnny Crypto's excited, baby.
So bullish. He's glitching the hell out.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Big shout out to Linda P. Jones as well. If you do not follow Linda P. Jones, she has a phenomenal book as well. One of our warriors was talking about her book just recently. So Linda P. Jones, we appreciate you so much for all your education and your dedication to the community. All right, so let's dive in. Let's go to our Fin Wiz, the CFO. Jeremy. So if you guys don't know, Jeremy and I have been together, not as partners, as business partners, so don't get it twisted. As partners, we've known each other since 2010, 2012. And the first dude that believed in me, man, I opened up my trunk, and I tell the story all the time. I pulled out of a book out of my trunk like a drug dealer and said, "Hey, dude, nobody had a bunch of books. Nobody bought them." And I presented to him. He's like, "This thing is great." And I'm like, "You think so?" My mom thought so too. So 2 people believed in me, and here we are. So big shout out to our CFO, the financial wizard. So Jeremy, what do you think about all this happening, man?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I want to say 2 things because I was muted before, but it looked like Johnny was in like a stop animation video.
I know, it was cool.
A second ago, whatever was glitching on with his, because like whatever he had was like moving all over his body. What do you have on? Is that a monkey?
Oh, this is the monkey.
Got it.
When the monkey was like, walking off the back. Now
whatever was happening, it looked like it was moving all over your body.
I don't know what he was doing. He was breakdancing. The monkey was so happy that he's off the back. He was breakdancing.
I want to say this. I don't know. I was talking to a client the other day, yesterday, for something else, for one of the other businesses that we do, and they had said that they had bought the "You Must Believe Way of Life" book, which I thought was really interesting to me. That back in 2017 or the end of 2016, when that specific conversation had happened, you just had a bunch of books, and just to think that all these years later, like, we use it inside of the academy. It's the basis for the 120-day challenge. People have access to buy it, or maybe bought a different book than we have. But and so I think that it's really just interesting to see, if you stick with the plan and you're consistent, like we have been with the XRP situation and with believing in the blockchain technology and what it can do, especially with Ripple, if you stick to the plan, it'll eventually pay off. And so my hope is that we have another party, though, that this specific is over. We can all head back to New York and have another party from XRP, because that was a fantastic time being able to be with all of the people in the community, because that was one of the things that really opened my eyes up to it. Was the first time that we had that meet and greet in Vegas, first time that I met Abs, the first time that I met Johnny, and during that time was the first time that I had the experience of being part of the XRP community and how amazing that they are, and then being able to go to Apex and partake in the XRP community. And so I'm just super excited that the people, that have believed in this for so long are going to be able to see the technology now continue to move forward. One of my favorite parts about XRP Las Vegas was listening to David Schwartz talk about how the market making and how the actual technology worked for the foreign currency exchange and how that transfers. And I'm just super excited for the future of what's going to be happening with all of the continued partnerships that they're going to be doing. So
beautiful, man. Appreciate you. Love you, brother. Go on vacation, man. I know you're supposed to be on vacation.
Well, I wanted to pass this up. I don't know if you saw the chat. I was just
we're trying to get pre-IPOs going. This poor guy keeps trying to get in his car to go on vacation. Pre-IPO, we got to do this. But so let's answer some questions here, and I'll kick it around the room. So I'll kick this one over to Abs and kind of kick it around the room. Appeal or no appeal? What do you experts think? So Abs,
so here's the downside, guys. Because we won so big, because the SEC is only going to get $125 million after being in court for 3.5 years, I actually think it's more likely now that the SEC would be willing to appeal. If we had seen Judge Torres give some sort of a huge fine here and maybe even charge them for some form of disgorgement, which means there were actually clients harmed who they had to pay a fine for, then I think the SEC would have been comfortable saying, look, that's a win. We can hang that up on our wall. We received $500 million. Only getting $125 million is not going to move the needle for the SEC. In 2023 alone, they made $4.9 billion in fines. So That would mean they sat in court against Ripple, paid hundreds of millions in litigation, and now they're only going to receive 125 million in return. In my opinion, this is a huge win for Ripple and a big loss for the SEC, which could lead them to appealing. That's just my take. I'm not sure what anybody else thinks.
I like it. Yeah. Johnny Crypto, what do you? Oh, go ahead. Jose, go ahead.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to appeal, but I think they're going to get shot down again. I mean, the first appeal didn't work. What makes you think that the second appeal is going to work? Plus, they got all these other lawsuits that aren't really going into their favor. Plus, it's an election year. Trump has been very vocal about Gary Gensler, about, as soon as he gets into office, he's fired. So at this point, for me, I'm looking at it, he's like, does Gary even care at this point? He's just probably going to have to take the loss of the 125 million, just be like, I'm just going to have to be good with it, because this was all set up from the beginning, in my opinion. This was all suppressed on purpose just so they can fill their bags up and get whatever they were going to do. Right. But at the end of the day, if Gary's going to be on his way out, in a perfect world, when we have a change of administration, then I think, what's the point? What's the point of the appeal if they're going to keep losing it?
Yeah, interesting.
One quick comment here, Coach. This is a live update as well that we got out of the actual conclusion from Judge Torres. Judge Torres also issued an injunction restraining Ripple from further violations of Section 5 of the Securities Act. This means that they cannot be prosecuted for the same issue going forward. So I thought that was just important to note.
We say that again. So that's good news, right? Okay.
Right. It wouldn't prevent an appeal, but if there is no appeal, then the conversation's over. That's pretty much what that means.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's like a double jeopardy situation.
Charges to go against them.
They're basically saying they can't be sued again,
for the exact same thing.
But I think from an appeal perspective, Coach, if you think about it, right, it doesn't make sense when you look at all the losses that the SEC had taken in this case. The law hasn't really been, the judges have not been on their side in this case for a long time. And if they were to appeal it, there's probably a good probability they would lose the appeal. And remember, if they lose the appeal at a higher level, it could potentially affect their ability to go after other potential lawsuits that have similar fact situations. So for them at this point, they're better off taking this as a win because we may call it a loss fan, but it's not. They're going to go out and say, hey, we sued Ripple and we protected the people and we got you 120 and they're paid $125 million fine. I mean, they're going to spin the narrative as a win for them. And it's a big win to say, hey, we got 125 million out of them. So I would suspect because of the upside risk, if they lose an appeal versus the potential of having 125 million in the bank, my guess is they'll probably take the money and move on, especially, kind of seeing how maybe Gary's days are numbered. It probably makes sense for him to just take the money and run. I would be surprised if they appealed, but with this administration, nothing really ever surprises me, Coach, for them to do something that doesn't make sense logically. But it wouldn't be a smart move for them to do it. But then again, they haven't made a lot of smart moves recently.
Yeah, right.
I think and this is my tinfoil hat narrative, but it's like the thought of, I've always said this, I think, SEC cases, egregious cases last about 12 to 24 months. This lasted 3.5 years. Like in the timing, there's something to the timing. What we don't know, we don't have the insight to what just happened. But like Linda P. Jones said, they can claim this as victory. It's like, hey, we won. Because in the retrospect, that's a lot of money when you see that to people's perspective, right? That's a lot of money. So it's like, wow, look at how much money we got. Now, the other crypto companies need to be like, oh, crap, because regulation is coming now. Ripple had deep pockets to battle the SEC, but why did it last that long? I want to get Mario's opinion, go back to Jeremy around what they think about the appeal. And then I want to ask your guys' opinion after that. Why do you think it went so long? I want to hear your guys' narrative. So Mario, and then we'll go to Jeremy.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to appeal. And my reasoning for that is much along the lines of, what Johnny was saying, as far as they're going to claim this as victory. But I also see it in a different way. So they were also alleging a bunch of other tokens to be securities. And they were alleging that Ethereum was a security. They dropped that. They dropped the other allegation about all the other tokens that were alleging to be securities. So to me, that's kind of indicating that they're not really looking to pursue this any further. That this thing with Ripple was just they were so deep into it. And so this was their last chance to really get something out of it. And I think that something is the $125 million, which I think that they're lucky to get, not lucky, but they're fortunate to get that. Ripple is basically paying for the entire industry here, because everybody else pretty much got a free pass. So I don't think that they're going to appeal just based on the behavior patterns from the SEC that we've seen recently. It looks like they're ready to move forward, whether it's because of the narrative or whether it's because of the change of administration, things that are happening in the background. It just, the pattern to me is telling me that they're ready to jump onto another chapter, and that chapter is not really going after these security allegations.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the way Brad, like I'll read it one more time, is he said, the SEC asked for $2 billion and the court reduced their demand by 94%, recognizing that they overplayed their hand. We respect the court's decision. So it's almost like the wording is very kind of, hey, thanks guys. All right, this is over. Yes. And Jeremy, go ahead, and then I'm going to dive into, I'm going to read a comment.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was just going to say after that, I'm going to read a tweet from Donald Trump Jr. I want to get your guys' opinion on timing.
Yeah, so I would say if there is other plans in place for whatever suppression that they need for Ripple in total, then it would make sense for them to do an appeal to push out any whether that means price suppression from XRP or suppression for Ripple in total, for it moving forward to doing, say, a public offering, or Ripple doing other, I guess, other relationships it's going to have with other businesses to move its technology forward, or with other governments to move its technology forward. So if there's some other plan in place, that would be the only reason why I think that there would be an appeal. Other than that, I don't think that they would appeal it, and they're going to just, like everybody said here so far, is that they're just going to spin it as a win for them, and that they protected the people, and the CES does a good job, and Gary Gensler did something good, and then he'll use that as something for his resume after he leaves the White House this year.
He's gonna see it as a victory. So let's dive into this really quickly. Let's see if that's showing up on the screen. Let's see, add to stage. There we go. Okay, so we saw Donald Trump Jr. announce we're about to shake up the crypto with some huge news. He does his tweets like me. He messes up his things. Decentralized finance in the future. Don't get left behind. Really, really interesting timing, right? And then all of a sudden, the Ripple case ends. Why do I keep doing that? There we go. I saw God. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Gonzo's in the house. I love it. I come back and I see this beautiful soul. So yeah,
What's up, guys?
I wanted to get into the little tinfoil hat stuff. So like timing wise for me, like that's why I don't get caught up in the narratives. I don't get caught up in tribalism. I get caught up in looking at the macro view. Like the fact that this case lasted this long, it told me that something's on the SEC side. There's something going on, right? All of a sudden in 2023, we had the bank bailing committee start activating, which Jay Clayton's part of the bank bailing committee, the board, right? Then you had this, all of a sudden BlackRock, Larry Fink is like, it's a flight to quality. Then all of a sudden Bitcoin ETF comes out. Then all of a sudden we have at the Bitcoin conference, the whole narrative switch to having government officials there, presidential candidates. And then all of a sudden the Ripple case ends. So what is your guys' thoughts on timing? I mean, do you think it's all part of the timing of the new presidential election, bringing Bitcoin into the treasury, an even playing field? Like, I feel like we all made a historical, that's how I feel. I feel that owning XRP and Bitcoin, that I made a historical decision, that I'm going to be sitting on my big old ranch, looking out on the ranch, rocking back and forth, and my grandkids would be like, you are an effing legend, Grandpa. So what do you guys think about all this? Let's shoot over to Gonzo. So Gonzo, what do you think about the timing? I know you know a lot about the charts, and what are your thoughts about the timing of the case?
I'm not surprised, just because I was leaning into the charts, and we knew we had to have something, right? We had the big event that happened on Monday, which was a huge capitulation event, and which is a big bear trap. And then and so now it's always something, right? And that's why I've always said, like, if we were going to get Ripple going public, that announcement, right, or we were going to get a XRP ETF, the sooner the better, right? Because as this cycle plays out, I just worry that it's going to be the top, right? Like, it's exactly what happened when Coinbase went public. And the other thing that happened is we got a Bitcoin futures product. Now, I know a futures product is a lot different than spot, but I remember the frenzy that was going on in the market, right? Where they were telling us we were going to 100K. And so I think there's always some narrative, and they always just seem to time whether the powers that be, do it on purpose so that they can push the narrative, right? Or to push the liquidity back into the markets and to trap traders and stuff like that. That's like a kind of a bigger question. But I think it's a cool day. It's, obviously the price action's gone up. We smacked right into that 64-cent resistance level, and now we're coming down a little bit. But I think on the long term, like, this is exactly what we needed. It's actually moving counter to the market because I think the market's kind of correcting right now. But I knew we were going to get something, right? And then as I think the election gets closer, we're going to get more volatility and we're going to get more narratives, right? More things are going to come out. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lot more announcements that are super bullish.
Awesome. I love it, man. Love you, Gonzo. Great to see you on here. Let's
Love you,
head over
Coach.
to Abs. What do you think about the timing?
You know what's interesting is I loved what Mario had brought up about last week. In the SEC versus Binance case, they had dropped the allegations that 13 other altcoins were securities, including 2 stablecoins. So we had actually inferred that maybe there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't actually know about as public people, where the SEC is doing a complete 180 because they know not only is it beneficial for the Democrats and the Republicans and the independents, crypto is just here to stay in general. So it moved away from being this bipartisan conversation. And I think that we're all just coming to the understanding that as Americans, whether regardless of what side you're on, and this goes for Gary Gensler as well, this technology is here to stay. And with Senator Loomis passing that Bitcoin reserve bill last week, imagine what the impact is going to be when the United States government launches a plan to purchase 1 million Bitcoin units over the next 4 years. That's 650 units of Bitcoin a day if we're starting at zero. There's only 450 Bitcoin mined every day, produced from scratch. So the U.S. demand from the government alone would be more than the new supply that's entering the market. Now you include retail, other governments, BlackRock. I think things are going to get parabolic. I really do.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move over to, let's see, Gonzo, the question was, what do you think about the timing of this, man? Any thoughts on that? It lasted 3.5 years. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So
it did seem like it took longer, like they drug it out, right? The cool thing about history is, like, as this thing plays out, well, like you were saying, like, we'll be able to look back and really connect the pieces. We can't really see it right now because it's right in front of us. But like next year, or as the cycle progresses, I think we'll be able to kind of piece together how it all played out. I love history, so I can't wait to, here's the thing. When you have a long-term kind of mindset into this, yeah, like you have a long-term mindset, like I really think
we're going to be a part of it now,
right? I'm like, cool. Like I have my portfolio that I kind of short-term trade, but like my big part of my portfolio is super long-term. So you kind of just sit back and just watch it go. I know where we're going, right? Whatever the narrative is, we're going to enter the phase in Q4 2025. We're going to go parabolic. Bitcoin dominance is going to collapse. The true alt season will kick off. That'll only last a few months. Retail will come flying back in, and they're going to get trapped at the top, like they always do, right? And then something will kick off the bear market, and the whole thing will play all over again in another cycle, right? And maybe the next cycle will be a true utility cycle, right? Because we'll finally, like in the bear market, maybe government steps in, we get real regulation. A lot of projects that shouldn't be here will get wiped away through regulation. And then the whole kind of thing just plays out all over again. So I'm just excited to be part of it and just kind of sit back and watch it play out.
That's awesome. And this is awesome. This is not awesome what I'm about to read. Never get your notifications or live. I want to share with you guys, if you can please hit the notification button, hit subscribe, make sure you're commenting. People have been saying on Twitter, we're exploding. Like our video on Twitter will get 100,000 views and on here 10,000 views. So we are definitely being suppressed here on YouTube. So if you can share, like, comment, just so you know, my video comes out around 7 a.m. Arizona time. Good Morning Crypto. Is it 8 a.m. Arizona time or 9 a.m. Arizona time? So
right now it's 8
a.m. Arizona time. So we're the weirdos.
Yeah, it's 8 a.m.
But just know every single day we won't miss, guys. So be there. When you're there, if you could do a favor, smash that like button, hit the notification button, put some comments in there, because we want to get this information out to as many people as possible. And I'm super proud of how big our community is growing, because when I was at XRP Las Vegas, so many people said, I don't get your notifications anymore. So I don't know if our content's being suppressed, but we're grateful that the 7,000 people are here right now. So I want to ask the question over to Jose. So what are your thoughts, man? I know you guys you have a pretty cool channel as well, diving into some tinfoil hat stuff. So what is your thought around the timing of the case, the Bitcoin conference, the XRP case ending right now?
The whole thing is rigged, man, in my opinion. The whole thing is one big movie script, is one big wrestling storyline, right? And it all started in 2009 in my opinion, after the housing collapse and the inception of Bitcoin, right? And then the inception of BRICS. And then we have all these things happen. And you fast forward in the last cycle, then you had that Bill Hinman speech that he says that Ethereum, is not a secure, or not a secure. I forgot what it was. That whole Bill Hinman situation.
Sufficiently decentralized.
Exactly. Then you fast forward to the Jay Clayton, him, putting the case on Ripple. Then he leaves. And he's part of the bank bailing committee. It's just like these people are just all part of the same team. They just need to change positions every now and then. But at the end of the day, man, all these people look at is the astrology of things. Remember that, that quote, billionaires look at astrology and millionaires look at charts, right? All these people, these investors, these CEOs, these people that handle these billions and billions and trillions of dollars, these people look at all these astrological alignments and dates, right? Like, for example, we're about to head into a Mercury retrograde, right? What's the coincidence that we're about to head into a Mercury retrograde? The markets just tanked a few days ago, right? And then I look up even further into that, and I'm looking at that Mercury retrograde on average across most financial markets suffers about a 1 to 1.5% decline. So usually when there's a Mercury retrograde, we see some down in the market. So I'm wondering if this is all part of that. But also when I'm looking at the connection of what Ripple's been doing behind the scene overseas with the development of the stable coin, right? Pegging it to the dollar, getting some gold back by that, then working with the CBDC overseas with many, many countries. Man, the candidates here in the United States have talked about, no, we're not going to have a CBDC. But you know what? It's not really up to them, in my opinion, because there's a whole narrative globally that the financial system has to switch. It just has to, because there's no money in the system. And the only way you can get everybody that's not in the banking system is through digital currency, right? Because of the liquidity problem, there's the settlement problem, the money flows easily. So what's the coincidence? Because I don't believe in coincidences, that Ripple has been working on all these technologies that these candidates don't want in the United States. Meanwhile, they're while working with all these other countries that have been implementing it. So what's going to happen, in my opinion, I think what's going to happen is that these candidates are going to say, we're not going to have a CBDC, but we're going to have the Freedom Coin, or we're going to have the USA coin. You're not, something else. It's not going to be the stable coin like the USDC, but they'll call it something else. It'll be a CBDC, but they're just going to call it something else. So I think this is all connected. I think all the timing is perfectly timed because of the astrological dates and because of everything with the retrograde, the esoteric meanings behind everything too. I think it's not a mistake. It happened today.
Yeah, I love it. And then tomorrow somebody put 888. So tomorrow is 8/8/2024, right? 2024. Yep. So that is 888. Tomorrow's the most powerful manifestation day. Yeah, most powerful manifestation day tomorrow. So, and yeah, Mercury retrograde is from the 3rd to the back end of this month, and it's been funky donkey with the internet and all that stuff. So let's see. We're trying to get Linda P. Jones. Linda P. Jones, if you're out there, check your email. We'd love to have you come on live with us.
Check your DM and Twitter, I think. Did you also send it there, Johnny?
We're hitting you up everywhere.
Yeah, I got an email, a text message.
If you get a knock at your door, that's Johnny Crypto with
Johnny Crypto.
I've got Louie and Vinny over there too, so we'll see if they go. My cousin's going knock on the door, get her on.
That's perfect. Awesome, guys. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my game plan and what I'm gonna do, and I want to pass it around the room. And we all have dreams and hopes. I see Lambos in here. I see a 1997 Corolla. That's better. That's more my thinking right there. Getting that cheap car out of the way. I remember, if Jeremy remembers, I drove that little maroon car with some duct tape on it for a very, very long time, man. And so
one of my favorite parts was when we were filming. And I think it was when you had the Corvette, and next to the Corvette was my Corolla or my Camry. And Chris comes in, who was our marketing guy at the time. He comes, he's like, Jeremy, I'm going to need you to move your Camry. It's in my shot.
That was pretty funny.
Whatever.
That was pretty funny. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about here. Retire my parents first. So one of the biggest things that I do want to talk about is, what is the game plan? What is the game plan? And what we've done as a family over the past couple of years is we worked to diversify outside of cryptocurrency. We created game plans. We created businesses. We created diversification plans. And I think that's really important. So I'm just going to share with you guys something that I've added to my plan that's really important. So Jeremy is my financial guru over here. Every single month we meet. We have quarterly meetings around the finances. And And one of the things that I've started to think about, because when I say, people say financial freedom. Now, what is financial freedom? Warren Buffett says, if you don't make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die, right? So I believe everybody on the screen, we're all in the same narrative here, where what I'm going to be using my 50% exit of crypto. I'm holding Bitcoin long-term. I decided I'm not touching it. Just so you guys know, that's my narrative. 50% of my altcoins, I'm going to exit, but I have a very strict plan with those. I'm going to be diversifying across insurance, businesses, precious metal, silver, Bitcoin will be my gold, and multifamily. But I've made this rule for myself that I just want to express to people because it holds me accountable, because I'm saying this. And so I thought about my net, right? What is my net? Jeremy calls it debts and non-negotiables. So whatever my debts and non-negotiables, food, shelter, I have that exact number. And I'm not going to buy things, the Lambo, the houses, those things, until my assets, cash generating assets, can pay for my net. Once my cash generating assets can pay for my net, then you'll see me in the Lambo. Then you'll see me in the $150,000 boat. Then you'll see me in the buying big ass lake houses and all these things that I want. But right now, it's critical, if you truly want to build generational wealth, if you get a big hit of $300,000, you can multiply that money. That is the key. Everybody read the book, Richest Man in Babylon, An Intelligent Investor. It's really important. And cash flow quadrant. We got to get on the right side of the cash flow quadrant, because I see that a lot on Twitter and things like that. People are like, Lambo money, all this stuff. You don't want to buy those types of things that are depreciating assets. I just wanted to put that out. I preach that over and over and over again repetitively. So my plan is to, that's what I love about, someone said about their parents. My plan is to take this to build so much wealth that every person I come in contact with has financial freedom. That is my goal with this. So Johnny Crypto with a K, what's your goals, man? Besides wake boat, man.
Definitely a bigger boat, so I get all you guys out there. That's number one. That'd be great. Reality Coach, as you said it, and for me, it's all about diversification. And it will always be about diversification. It will always be about making sure I'm putting assets into appreciating assets, or assets that generate cash flow. So for me, I'll continue to look to diversify into things like the IUL insurance as well, so I can grow my money tax-free, and then also and be a bound bank, but also continue real estate. For me, real estate's the key, because I love putting into something that people need. People need roofs over their houses, or roofs over their heads. So for me, I love that model. So that, and it's diversified also into Bitcoin, into other areas of crypto, and in gold and silver. So that's kind of always been my plan: gold, silver, real estate. IUL now has been the new portion that I bolted on, as you've kind of made us aware of the benefits of that. To me, everybody should have one. It's crazy not to have that. But that's how I'm seeing being able to take the wealth generation that's going to come from this. But one of the things I want to say that's exciting about this ruling, Coach, that nobody's talked about is, now that this kind of the monkey's off their back, and now he's kind of more on the shoulder, and like now he's a friend now, I'm in the front. He's not in the back anymore. He's in the front. He's a friend now. And now that he's a friend, what's good about this is Ripple can now start to go and have relationships with companies and building use cases again with them, right? We've heard through Ripple themselves and Brad saying that we go knocking on the doors and like, whoa, we don't want to talk to you guys, right? And so the significance now is that development work. And when we had Mark Yusko on the show today, I asked him, I said, how do you determine value of Bitcoin? And he said, well, at the end of the day, it's simple. It's users, use cases and users, right? Well, the same thing is true for Ripple and XRP and its technology. Is its value is going to be based on how many users it's have. Its users are going to be based on how much deployment they can get. Deployments could be based on how many partners they can get to play with them. And now that they no longer have this little guy on their back, they're going to be able to have those conversations. They're going to be able to innovate, and they're going to be able to have those kinds of conversations with companies and grow their platform and their business. So for me, that's the most exciting part. That when you think about what it means long term, forget the price. Everybody's going to get the price tomorrow, and they're going to be disappointed because the price ain't going to be there tomorrow. And I tell everybody in GMC all the time, don't look at the price. Look at the relationships they're building. Well, now, Coach, they can build some significant relationships because they can no longer. There's no excuse anymore for companies to say, "Hey, sorry, Brad, we don't want to work with you guys. We're afraid of you because of the SEC." In fact, it's just the opposite way around. It's like, whoa, you're the only guys we don't have to worry about. We work with you. You can't be sued. I've just read it to you. There's no more further violations. All right. So they're in a really, really prime position now And everybody should be excited about that if you're an XRP holder.
Beautiful. Love it.
Real
Love
quick, Coach, one comment to add to what Johnny had to say is the $1 trillion elephant in the room, $1 trillion, Bank of America. So Bank of America was a partner before Ripple was sued, during the entire lawsuit, and still this day. So there's something there, right? And we can speculate on that, but I just think that's so important.
It's 100%. As you got Wells Fargo's with R3, you got JPM Coin, Onyx, they got their own system. You got Bank of America, and it's not just an American bank, is ready to launch. And that's what I love what you just said, because what this does, family, is all these bank executives right now are like, hey, Brad, remember that conversation we had? We got regulatory clarity now. Let's talk. Right. And I that's something I really think about, because we met Brad and we've gotten to shake his hand, David Schwartz. We've been in the rooms with these people. There's a lot of smart people, man, running this company. There's a lot of very smart people. We've met some people at Ripple, and, you know, for the people that put that out there, we've never been paid by XRP, never been paid by Ripple. We're just investors in that. We've actually never been paid by a crypto company ever. We stand tall on that, and we're very, very proud of that as a community. We've never taken money from a crypto company. We've never, ever, anything we've ever talked about, we've never been paid for. We create our own ecosystems, Merlin, our insurance arm, our academies, and I'm very, very proud to say that, because that's not easy. Being in the position all these guys are in, I guarantee people knock on their doors and say, hey, you know, I'll give you a little bit of change here to get you some Bitcoin, or do what you got to do to just do one post out there. So be very careful who you're listening to out there in the marketplace, family. So let's kick it around. So Abs, what is your plan? So what is your plan as you get this life-changing wealth for your family?
You know, what's exciting is that I've always thought that I was going to use it as a catalyst to like have freedom and maybe travel and do these things. And now I've realized I can do that now. Right? It's not even a financial thing. It's a personal choice. So I don't have any huge change except for expanding the businesses that we've created. I would like to commit more time and effort. Specifically, I'm making a move. I'm making a move back home right now, and I'm going to have more time to put into the things that I care about. So I'm really, really excited investing in myself, you know? So I'm not exactly sure where I'm thinking out loud here. I'm not exactly sure where I'd take a lump sum of cash and put it. I have an insurance policy. There's crypto assets I'd like. There's small businesses. Jeremy knows about the vending machines that I'm obsessed with. So there's a bunch of stuff that I have my mind on, but the only thing I know for sure is I have my exit plan. So I won't have to worry about when I'm selling my assets. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do with all those profits, right? So it's a good problem, I guess.
I love what you just said. I hope people wrote notes on that. It's like nothing's going to change. You already have the freedom. You already have the friendships. We already have the family. We already have the love. We already have the health. And all the wealth is just going to magnetize that, right? Because wealth doesn't change people. It just magnetizes who you already are. That's why we've been telling people since 2020, get your shit together, man. Because it's coming. It's coming. The money is coming. And when the money comes, it will only exasperate who you currently are. So we'll kick it over to Mario. So Mario, what's your game plan? I know you've been making some moves as well around the world. So what's going on with you?
Yeah, honestly, right along with Abs. I wouldn't change much. I would actually just double down on everything that I'm doing, and because I would no longer have that concern of money, right? So I know that my bills are going to be taken care of. I'm very happy with everything that I'm doing right now and all the things that I'm building. So not having that concern of the bills that need to get paid, that would be a big thing for me right now. That would probably be the biggest pain point that would fix for me. And then obviously just, you know, having the ability and the money to be able to invest or diversify, that would be the biggest thing that I would probably do. Honestly, that would be the only significant thing. I would try my best to not increase my expenses. Yes. I would do my best to keep things as they are right now. Maybe I would go spend 3 months in a different country, working out of a different country, just so that I can, you know, get to experience what it's like to be in a different country, but I'll still be working. But I'll keep my expenses. I'll try to keep my expenses the same. I would diversify. I would definitely get into an IUL. I would definitely get into some real estate, precious metals, just diversification. Honestly, my goal is to create generational wealth. So although I really do want to have a Porsche GT3 RS, I don't want to put the Porsche GT3 RS in front of all these other things that are more important and that can pay for the Porsche GT3 RS eventually.
I love it. I love it. You got to have some fun too. So Jose, and then we'll go over to Jeremy, and then we'll start to wrap this up.
Man, I've learned so much from this community, being part of it, that my mindset around this very topic has changed like 180 degrees, because if you would have asked Jose version 2019, he would have been like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with this money. But now that I know, I've gone through the training, I've gone through, 4 or 5 different cycles of the 120-day challenge. I'm on every single generational wealth call. I'm preaching from going through it, guys. Like, I'm part of the academy, right? So I decided to be part of the academy because I wanted to have a game plan so I don't get stuck like with these people with their trunks down when the tide goes down, right? I don't want to be stuck like one of those people. So that was like very important for me. So now I know what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to expand even more on my media business, right? I also have a media business on top of my 3T Espanol business. I'm going to expand my insurance business. I'm going to diversify into an IOL. I'm going to diversify into some precious metals, So I'm going to make sure I have a solid game plan so I can have other businesses producing more cash flow so I can put it back into the market and keep repeating the process. So I'm ready from when I'm 55 years old. I'm still pretty young right now. But I want to be able to have a good game plan. So by the time I am 55, I could be like, okay, I don't need to work anymore. I have this income. I have that income. So right now I'm really just building a solid foundation from whatever I get from my profits. I really want to just make a really solid foundation so I can keep building and keep reinvesting, keep taking profits and putting into the foundation. That's really what my game plan is right now. So I'm set for 55. So I don't have to have the same type of hardships that my grandparents and my parents had to go through.
Yeah. Love it. We'll wrap it up with Jeremy, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So number one thing that when this happens is I'm all about reinvesting and doing more into businesses. And so most of the plans that I have is to continue to grow more and more businesses. One of those is to create better infrastructure and to create more and more what we call 3-2 warrior funds, which we don't usually talk about publicly. But if you're inside of the academy, you may know what those are, as I yell at Abs and Johnny for talking about that. I'm just kidding. So as I'm specifically doing it, but to advance that where we can do those types of things on the outside of the academy is one of my main goals, because I'm a big believer in continuing. I don't like to steal this from Link 2, but their motto is democratizing private equity. And I want to work to even make that more democratized than some of the companies that are out there that have already done. And so that's a big part of it. And then I have a plan for a certain amount of real estate investment portfolio that I want to accumulate over the next 15 years. And that's going to play a big part. And then the third thing is to continue to innovate in the spaces that we're currently in, like with our Phoenix crypto assets business, possibly the goal of getting into digital asset insurance that I've talked a lot about, because there's not a lot of insurance for digital assets yet. So most of my stuff is going to go back into continuing to innovate. And then my biggest dream, as you all know, is to be a part of the space economy. So most of my money will go into getting more money to get more into the space economy, whether that's through hospitality in space, asteroid defense centers, or Moonwater.
There it is.
Moonwater, there we
There
go.
it is.
I'll be an early investor in that one.
With people, but those are the ones that I'm really focused. That's what I am going to do when this happens.
We're getting that asteroid defense center. So JB, out of respect to you, says you guys are telling your own story. Let's talk about XRP. Let's talk about it. Let's wrap it up with XRP. But this is bigger than XRP to us. This is about family. This is about faith. This is about building. And I do respect the gentleman's comment who is, testing the faith here. What I'll tell you, brothers, I live by 3 rules. I love God with all of my heart, and I love humanity as I love God. I treat others as I want to be treated, and I pull the log out of my eye before I pull the straw. So I love you so much. I respect your faith 100%, and we respect all of you guys. And I just want to end by saying thank you to every single one of you for believing in each other. It's not even believing in our dream or 3T, and what we're doing is believing in each other. We've been through some ups, we've been through some downs, and these moments are times to celebrate. This is what it's all about. Right? It would be awesome if it was just a straight up line, but that wouldn't make it what it is today. We wouldn't have these strong relationships. We wouldn't have this community. And so I'll leave you with this. What XRP represented to me was a moment in time in 2020 when the pandemic came and shut my business down. I felt alone. I felt lost. I felt like I had no future or path to really focus on. It was kind of like, what am I going to do? And then all of a sudden I met the XRP community. And I met the crypto community as well. And have met some of the most beautiful, kind, all the community, Bitcoin, everybody I run into, everybody talks shit online. Then you run them face to face and they're the coolest people in the world. The biggest shit talkers become the coolest people in the world, because when we see each other eye to eye, we see God in each other. And what I see is a community of like-minded individuals that finally said, enough is enough. They drew a line in the sand. We became more committed to the pain of change and staying the same, and we worked to rewire our brains. So congratulations to every single one of you for being a generational shifter, for making that move. I know all of you got judged by your family. I know it's awkward at Thanksgiving. I know it's awkward at Christmas, and it's still going to be awkward for a while. But remember, first they'll judge you, then they'll respect you, then they'll follow you, or they'll abandon you, and it's none of your spiritual business. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. Talk to you soon.